Watch this. How womanizing Kofi Akpaloo used side chicks to steal from Ghana. Now we all know Percival Kofi Akpaloo of the LPG, the Liberal Party of Ghana. At a point he wanted to be the president of the Republic of Ghana. He went around campaigning and he was always seen in this kente. It looked like he was a patriot, a man who will do everything for Ghana. Little did we know that he's a thief, allegedly. Come here. Now, Kofi Akpaloo is the man whose photograph you see here. He's a trained accountant. Instead of using his brains and his knowledge to help with the accounting of the nation, probity of the nation, accountability, no. According to investigators, he rather decided to join the world of criminality. This is Kofi Akpaloo of the LPG. Now we all remember that a few months ago he was chased all the way to his base in Kumasi, where people in his house lied to investigators that he was outside the house. But investigators were sure of their intel. They broke into his room and there he was hiding under a bed. He was smoked out of his mole hole and taken all the way back to Accra, where he was interrogated. My brother, my sister. And when journalists spoke to him after he had bail, he poo-pooed on the investigation and called it a wild goose chase. This is Kofi Akpaloo. Now, it came out that Kofi Akpaloo actually had a certain dealing with the cocoa board. He was supposed to be doing some feeder roads. Now, what is it exactly about the feeder roads? Now, the cocoa board at the time, headed by my own lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Joseph Boahini Edu, gave him a contract. But this contract was actually given to a woman by name Akosua Pomah. Now, Akosua Pomah was the legitimate owner of the contract given to her by the cocoa board to build feeder roads. She went out there, took the contract, worth so much money, my brother, my sister, about 29.5 million Ghana cedis. And when she took the contract, she spoke with Kofi Akpaloo. Whatever they had in common, Kofi Akpaloo took over the contract. The contract started, the work on the feeder road started, and money started coming in, and we are told that Kofi Akpaloo now decided to clone another account, the same style that Kwabena Edu Boahini used in cloning the BNC account. How did Kofi Akpaloo do it? Now, Pomah Universal Ghana Limited was officially owned by Akosua Pomah, and she spells her Pomah P-O-M-A-A. Kofi Akpaloo decided to open up another account with the same name Pomah, but with an H at the end. And money was siphoned from the main account right into the newly cloned account. Who is this woman called Akosua Pomah? Now, Akosua Pomah, my brother, my sister, is a woman whose life would shock you. She told investigators that Kofi Akpaloo actually forged her signature and found a way, using his accounting background and knowledge, to twist the hands of the banks to be able to start another account. And then she got checks that were paid supposedly into the original Pomah Universal Ghana Limited account, redirected into the newly cloned account. Is that clear? Now, There is an official account. It is called POMA. For now, hold it like that. POMAA. Owned by a woman. She goes to get a contract from Cocoa Board. Cocoa Board says, we trust you. And your papers are all right. And you have a certain kind of dossier that is very beautiful to us. So, your credibility is here. Go and do the thing. The contract was worth, as you were told, 29.5 million Ghana cedis. Now, Kofi Akpaloo met with this woman and he used his accounting background to divert all the money that was supposed to be paid into the account into a new account also called POMA. And this POMA has an H at the end. Unlike the original one without an H. But how was it easy to do that? Come here. Kofi Akpaloo allegedly was dating Akosua Poma. And when the woman got the contract, they sat down and talked about it. And he also decided that, oh, he will help with the contract. Was it Kofi Akpaloo who started the contract? Was he the one who got the contract? How did he get the contract? And today we have all the information for you. Now the woman called Akosua Poma was originally called Mercy Owusu. And she changed her name to Akosua Poma. Right after that, when she teamed up with Kofi Akpaloo, she was able to use her papers and her credibility as a contractor to get a contract from the Cocoa Board under Joseph Boahene Edu. And Akpaloo now came in, who had no papers, authentic papers for any construction work, in quotes, allegedly. And together, Akpaloo outsmarted his own girlfriend called Akosua Poma, formerly called Mercy Owusu, forged her signature according to her, and boom, he got all the money redirected into the new TV account. When Akosua Poma was picked up by investigators, she was asked what her relationship with Akpaloo was, and she mentioned it. And when Akpaloo was finally picked up and he was asked if he had ever done any construction work with his girlfriend, he shocked the investigators. Come here! What did Akpaloo say? He said, what girlfriend are you talking about? I have a lot of girlfriends. Investigators asked, we are not talking about just friends who are ladies. We are talking about people that you have this intimacy with. He said, yes, I have a lot of girlfriends. Do you understand what we are talking about, Akpaloo? We are asking you if you have ever done any such business from the Cocoa Board contract with a side chick. He said, I have a lot of side chicks. And investigators were shocked. You have a lot of side chicks? Now let me remind you of something very important. On Kingdom FM, the same Percival Kofi Akpaloo said that anyone who was interested in marrying his daughters would have to impregnate them first. And if they came back after the impregnation to say that they wanted to marry those daughters, it meant to him that they were truly in love. But first, impregnate the girl first. In other words, you don't need to marry her before she gets pregnant. Many condemn this. The same Kofi Akpaloo, after the helicopter crash, he was the one who said the 8 people who died deserved it because they actually did not treat the nation well, and they didn't treat cocoa farmers well, and that babies were even dying. These grown-up men are dead, and people, you are here crying. My brother, my sister, Percival Kofi Akpaloo, but I'm about to shock you. And if you are ready for the shocker, listen to this. Do we all remember during the election, Kofi Akpaloo picked up the #1 position for his LPG? You remember that time? And he swapped it with the NPP. Do we all remember? He swapped it with the NPP. What made him do that? Was there a symbiotic relationship? Could it be the reason he got the contract under the NPP to build the feeder roads? And listen to the interesting part of the whole thing. The contract was given in 2020. They never realized that Kofi Akpaloo had built another account and was siphoning money into it until after 4 solid years. The last year before handing over power. Could it have been intentional? Can I tell you more? Kofi Akpaloo under the NPP did not only receive a contract from the Cocoa Board, under the sleeping lecturer of mine, Buahini Edu, he also got contracts from the Ministry of Education, the ECG, Electricity Company of Ghana, and under Agenda 111, Kofi Akpaloo got a lot of contracts under the NPP. Could it have been a way of rewarding him for the swap? Did the NDC get caught sleeping while Akpaloo was doing dirty business with the NPP? Today, my brother, my sister, investigators are shocked that under the watch of the Nana Addo Bawumia government, Akpaloo was able to pick up so many different contracts. And a lot of those contracts were never completed. Some of them never even went halfway, yet he was paid full amount of money. Akpaloo is married to a woman called Delphina Akpaloo. But he claims that he has a lot of side chicks. And a lot of the checks that he got, he decided to use the names of some of these side chicks in order to steal, to forge, and get money from the state. Now this Cocoa Board contract, 29.5 million Ghana cedis. It got started, but did it even go halfway? He got all the money. Now, an aggrieved side chick, Akosua Poma, aka Mercy Owusu, has been picked up, and she's telling investigators, to be honest with you, yes, we had a certain relationship, but he actually swindled me, forged my signature, and diverted the whole money to himself using his accounting background. These days, it has become a penchant. It looks like a lot of our alleged criminals and thieves have the penchant of involving women, especially their spouses. Let's listen to the Attorney General and Minister of Justice as he narrates the same thing I just narrated to you. And when we return, we will give you the biggest shock. Watch this.
In the case involving Mr. Percival Akpaloo of the Liberal Party of Ghana, the Financial Intelligence Center flagged and filed a suspicious transaction report with First Bank Ghana Limited regarding transactions on an account belonging to Poma Universal Ghana Limited. That is a company owned by the said Kofi Akpaloo. Following the STR, that is a suspicious transaction report by the FIC, the Economic and Organized Crime began an investigation into the matter. The investigations revealed that Poma Universal Ghana Limited, a business entity owned entirely by a lady called Ekua Poma, was the legitimate contractor that was awarded a feeder roads contract by Cocoa Board. The contract, which was valued at 29.5 million Ghana cedis, was awarded in December 2020. Although the project commenced and an initial amount was properly deposited into Poma Universal Ghana Limited, subsequent payments raised serious concerns regarding misrepresentation, forgery, and unauthorized handling of the checks. Our investigations revealed that Akpaloo secretly incorporated another company, separate and distinct from Poma Universal Ghana Limited, also known as Poma Universal Ghana Limited, but deliberately added H to the Poma. So Poma is P-O-M-A-A, all right, Ghana Limited, which is a company which is owned by Eiiii Poma. What the company that he incorporated added H to the Poma, so it became, I don't know how to pronounce it, but the same Poma, yeah, Poma Ghana Limited, Universal Ghana Limited. But the difference was just the H at the end of Poma. And so after having done this, between December 2022 and June 2024, Akpaloo collected 8 checks issued by Cocoa Board in the name of Poma Universal Ghana Limited. That is the original and authentic Poma, totaling 3.1 million. That is 3,169,432 Ghana cedis and 22 pesos, and deposited them into the account of his own company, that is also Poma Ghana Limited with an H at First Bank Ghana Limited. Again, our investigations confirmed that Eiiii Poma was unaware of both the existence of the Poma Ghana Limited, that is the second company, and the diversion of the funds until Cocoa Board contacted her in June 2024 regarding outstanding balances on the contract. She subsequently discovered that Akpaloo had collected and misdirected the payments without her consent. Eiiii Poma also alleged that Akpaloo forged her signature on the Cocoa Board contract using her former name, Mercy Owusu, to secure the agreement without her authorization. First Bank Ghana Limited conducted an internal investigations and corroborated the fraud allegations that we have made, concluding that Akpaloo knowingly misrepresented ownership of the checks and deposited them into the wrong account. The bank acknowledged operational failures in detecting the discrepancies between the check payee names and the account numbers. The suspects who have been investigated are Percival Kofi Akpaloo, Poma Ghana Limited, the Poma with the H, and Delvin Akpaloo, his wife. That is the spouse of Kofi Akpaloo. It's fast becoming fashionable to commit crimes with spouses these days. The evidence shows that they engage in various criminal offenses, including stealing, forgery, and money laundering. And they will be charged by my office, again, as I said, upon resumption of work after the Christmas holidays.
So, this was not the only contract Kofi Akpaloo had. He also had a contract, as you were told earlier, apart from the Eiiii Poma one. Eiiii Poma. He had another one with the Ministry of Education, the ECG, Electricity Company of Ghana, and another one under the Agenda 111. So Akpaloo was secretly working with the NPP to steal from Ghana. A return favor, probably, for swapping positions on the ballot box and ballot paper with the NPP. If not so, I fail to understand how a man can forge another account go to a bank. The bankers are unable to see this. The account numbers are different. Yet, bankers were caught asleep and they wired all the money into the suspicious account. They couldn't talk about it until after 4 years of the contract. The rest of the contracts were half delivered, some less than half never completed. And the NPP government sat back and watched all these. All the other contracts, either a side chick was involved or more. Akpaloo allegedly used side chicks, girlfriends, for all the other contracts. My brother, my sister, it is obvious that Akpaloo may not be a qualified contractor, but he would use people around and push them using his political power and energy to get the contracts through those people and then snatch the contracts back from them using dirty tactics. Today, Akpaloo is getting ready to stand trial. He has already poo-pooed on this, saying that it is much ado about nothing. It's a wild goose chase. But investigators are ready. At least Eiiii Apoma has been able to come out boldly and talk about their relationship. Is Akpaloo a user of women? His wife, Delvina Akpaloo, has she also been involved in this shenanigans? Investigators are closing up on Akpaloo. And when we resume from the Christmas break, as the Attorney General and Minister of Justice has said, he would be standing trial. I am excited that Ghana is beginning to work again. That people who have done Ghana some kind of wrong will now be accountable after this wonderful probe into their activities. At this point, I want to say thank you so much to the Attorney General and Minister of Justice and all the people who work under him, especially IOCO, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, headed by Capo, the Tuti Capi, Raymond Archer. To Akpaloo, if this is true, you are an embarrassment to Kente. If this is true, Akpaloo, you are a traitor. If this is true, Akpaloo, you are the worst Ghanaian who has ever tried to be president. And to all the other side chicks, how do you feel now that such a guy allegedly has played all of you, using you to get contracts? How many of the big men did he connect you to sleep with? How many of the big men squeezed vital parts of yours in order to get those contracts signed in one way or the other? If this is true, it tells us that we have a political system that is sick. From Eiiii Apoma all the way down to all the other side chicks. Delvina Akpaloo, who is the legitimate spouse of Akpaloo, how do you feel that the bread that is served on your table is coming from dirty shenanigans perpetrated by side chicks who probably are eating the same food you eat in the bedroom? And maybe they are even being pimped to some cocoa board boss somewhere, some fertilizer boss somewhere, in order to get these contracts going. Imagine Akpaloo had become president. It's the black pot, aka Kukushonemo. And here we speak truth to power.